Now at the bottom of the page, 173, Damis jumps out of the closet, ruins all the plans. He's a very rash young man. As we jump over to page 175, we have Tartuffe telling Orgon the truth. Damis has gone to Daddy and said, your friend has tried to put the moves on your wife, and Orgon simply cannot believe it. This passage on 175, and it goes on to 176, has Tartuffe telling Orgon the truth, yet Orgon refuses to believe it. This is, he is telling him, yes, my brother, I'm wicked through and through, the most miserable of sinners. It goes on at the bottom of the page. Believe this, I have no worth. He tells him the truth, but Orgon turns upon Damis and accuses him of lying, and on 177, throws him out of the house, disinherits him. Get out of my sight. Okay? So Damis has ruined everything that Elmire had set up. Orgon makes it even worse on page 178, telling Tartuffe that, just out of spite, I'm going to make it worse on him. I know how to really turn the knife. I'll make you my heir, my only one. Yes, you will be my son-in-law and son. A good and faithful friend means more to me than any member of my family. Will you accept this gift that I propose? Whatever heaven wants, I can't oppose. Poor man. Okay, and then he writes it up. A contract's what we need to write. So this is giving Tartuffe everything he wants. Now, Cleante tries to talk to Tartuffe and say, this isn't right. He says, well, it's not my fault. I forgave the kid. It's not my fault his dad's still mad at him. It's not my fault his dad has made me his heir. All of that. On page 181, we have Marianne confronting Orgon, saying, please, Dad, don't drive me to some act of desperation. Said, let me go to the nunnery. I want to go to a convent then. And he says, okay, you want to be so religious, you can mortify your senses by marrying Tartuffe. Now, back then, it wasn't a common practice, but it did occur frequently. People would believe that they could be closer to God, closer to Christ, by suffering. So they would wear hair shorts that constantly scratched. They would beat themselves with a scourge. There were nuns who had pieces of glass and barbed wire sewn into their corsets so that they had a constant rubbing of this glass or wire against their flesh. They had constant sores that never healed because of this. They were suffering to be more Christ-like. That's what Orgon is referencing here. Suffer if you want to be holy. Elmire says, you're blind. We have all of these references. This is also on page 181. And he says, you were pretty calm in all of this. If he'd really been coming on to you, I think you had been having a hissy fit. And she says, bottom of the page, because a man says he's in love with me, I'm to respond with heavy artillery? I laugh at these unwanted propositions. She's saying just laugh it off. There's no reason to go ballistic and have a fit. Now on 182 in Act 4, Scene 4, she tells him to get under the table and hide because she is going to set the scene up. 183, she explains that I am going to act. She's going to flirt. Says, I've got to prove to you your holy man's a fake. So I'm going to lead him on to lift his mask. I told you there were references to acting throughout the play. So you stay under the table long enough to be satisfied that you've seen and heard enough. Don't make me stay there any longer than I have to. Then Tartuffe comes in the room. He does not see Orgon under the table. He's a little bit suspicious of her. And after he's satisfied that maybe they're safe, he just doesn't quite believe her. He says, I have my doubts and I cannot help but think, does she tell the truth or does she tell a lie?